Hello, the Hubsan Zino. This is Ron from Ron's RC channel. Today I'm with you with the brand new released Hubsan Zino and the TX here. And I just want to talk about some of the things, the particulars of the Zino. It has the the folding propellers. It has the real nice gimbal guard for the 3-axis gimbal. The memory card slot is over here. You put the memory card in upside down with the label down. There's the micro USB port, and as you can see, the Zino has no downward facing sensors, no optical flow or downward sonar cameras. But nice thing, it's not on now, but it has lights among these pods on the engine bottoms here, so you can see it in low light or knife line. So that's a good thing. And then you have the TX here with the kind of the extra long antennas, the controllers here, on off, return home, automatic land takeoff, sport mode button, film, movie button, and picture stills and video button, and then a gimbal wheel control here, and the sliding thing to put your phone in there. And this is the side where you plug in your phone. In my case, a iPhone, but the box came with a cord for the Android phones, also 2 other cords for popular Android models. So what this video is, we're going to kind of compare the Hubsan with some of the other popular drones that everybody compares it to. Just kind of a little table time here. So I'm going to put this over here. So the first contender will be the DJI Spark. Here is the Spark, tiny little Spark that came out about 1.5 years ago, DJI's smallest drone. And here's its controller. So as you can see here, big difference in the size of the drones. The Zino is twice the size here, so I get this on camera here, like twice the size of the little Spark at least. And weight-wise, I don't have a scale here, but the Zino's considerably heavier than the Spark. The propellers are much bigger on the Zino than they are the Spark. So a much bigger device really. The Spark, it has downward-facing sensors, and it also has optical avoidance sensors on the front, so it won't fly into something, and it knows where it is in land. This doesn't have any of those type of sensors. It only has GPS, to guide it along. The TX is here. The Hubsan TX is considerably bigger than the than the little Spark TX, but the Spark was the same size as the Mavic Pro, but it's much bigger. Weight-wise, though, I think the Spark is actually heavier than the Zino TX, even though it's much bigger than the the Mavic. But so that's sort of the differences there. This has a 4K 60 3-axis gimbal. This has a 1080p 2-axis gimbal. So that's the advantage this has over this guy, and then this guy has the avoidance sensors and the optical flow sensors as an advantage over that. Flight time, this supposedly gets like 22 minutes, and this I think it says 16-17 minutes. Real world time, this is about 12 minutes, and I haven't got a real world time on this. I haven't given a full test flight, but so this flies longer, and spec-wise has a better camera. We'll compare the video head-to-head in an upcoming episode of Ron's RC channel. Okay, so we're going to put the Spark away for a minute, and we're going to bring up the Mavic Pro Classic, the original Mavic Pro from like 2 years ago now. And the TX, I won't do a TX comparison because the Mavic Pro TX is the same exact size. It just has like a little screen on it. So we'll put that away too for right now. But as you can see now, these are much more comparable in size than the Spark was. They're real close in size. I don't have the battery in this, but we're not really doing weight up. I mean, the Zinos, I'm going to say, is a tad bigger than the Mavic Pro. Weight-wise, again, I don't have the Mavic in, but weight-wise, they feel about the same. It's real close. I'm going to say the Zino may even feel like a tad heavier. As you can see, the propellers are bigger on the Zino also. And now the differences here is, and we've already went over the specs of the Zino, so we won't go over them again. This has the optical flow downward sensing cameras on it, and it also has front phasing optical avoidance sensors on it. It has a 4K camera and a 3-axis gimbal, just like the Zino, but this maxes out at 30 frames per second, and this goes up to 60 frames per second. They both take 12 megapixel images, and the Spark took 12 megapixel images either. Now this can take a RAW or DNG image, and the Spark can only do JPEG, and we don't know about this yet. But right now I'm guessing this only does a JPEG image, but we don't know that for sure. So this has flight time. I think this is rated at like 26, 27 minutes, something around that ballpark. And this was, again, we talked about 22. So this gets better flight time, has all the extra sensors you want. The only advantage that the Zino has over this guy is the 60 frames per second on the 4K video recording. Otherwise, this is much better. Now this, when brand new, this sold for $9.99, and this brand new sells for $3.69. The Spark, which all you put on the floor, brand new, that was like $6.99, I believe. So, I mean, so far this maybe doesn't stack up to the other two in many ways, except for the price department. The price department, this is the clear value so far. So we compare it to some of the DJI high-end cameras, which kind of isn't fair because of the price points we just discussed. But here we're going to come up with another one. This is the Hubsan Bugs 2W, and I have customized long legs on it, but it actually sits low on a table like this if you didn't put these extended legs on it. Don't worry about that tape on the front. I was trying to make a homemade filter for it, but anyways, now these two are probably similar. This is much heavier than this is. This is very light compared to this. I don't have the battery in it, but it's very much lighter than this. It's something I didn't talk about in the other videos. This supposedly gets a 1,000-meter range on it, where the Mavic Pro Classic gets I don't even know, a couple miles range on it. I don't quote the things, but it can go very far. And the Spark, it supposedly can go like a mile out too. And again, but I think the Mavic 2 is like rated for 3-4 miles. Now these guys, okay, now this can go 1,000 meters out, so they have the same range. This gets about, I think it's it's rated about 20 minutes battery life. It gets just under 20 minutes battery life. So the battery life is very similar to these two. I'm guessing this is going to be a little bit better, but not a lot better. They're pretty close in battery life, but where the difference is, this has that 4K 3-axis camera. This has a no-K 2 megapixel 1080p camera, and with no image stabilization at all. So you get a very toy-grade video and pictures of this thing. Very, very low res compared to the DJI birds, and definitely compared to this guy. So, but this, when this was first released, you can get this much cheaper now. But when this first came out, this was about a $200 drone, where this is a $369, and this pretty much beats this in every category, or ties or beats in every category, and trounces it in the video department. Again, this looks like the video came out of your cell phone in 2005, and this video looks comparable to what's coming out of some of the higher end drones today. So far, we will we'll do a video test later on, but I'll post a few other video tests that have already been done on this, and you judge the video quality for yourself. So that's a comparison between some of the, I wanted to get another toy drone to put up to, I wanted to get the Hubsan H216A, but I don't know where I have to put the thing. So, but that's just a comparison between some of the drones that are similar in some ways to the Zino. And the TX for this thing is it's much. I didn't get it. It's much bigger than this. It's kind of like a typical big, kind of boxy looking transmitter that you get with most of the toy drones. Going all the way back to your SEMA X5C and drones like that. So that's about it today. I just want to wrap up with a small update. So far, the camera settings don't work on this. I mean, they're on the app, but when you put the drone up, you just get a pop-up window on the left side of the screen that says that you need to update the firmware, which you have to do. You have to go to the website, the Hubsan website, and go down at the bottom and download that update. But as of right now, the update's not available. I've got word from somebody at Hubsan that it should be available by the 10th, and today's already the 6th. So hopefully we'll have 4 more days where we can get the camera update to this that will allow you to change the resolution and change things like iOS and exposure and frame rates and so on. It offers quite a few settings for again what's kind of priced at the toy drone level. So again, I will update you when Hubsan releases the official camera update for the Zino, and maybe it'll improve some other things. I did, on a short test flight I did, this is a sport mode, but this sport mode isn't working now. It didn't perform any better in sport mode than just flying in regular mode. In fact, I thought it went slower in sport mode, but again, as of right now, I don't think the sport mode is functioning, but hopefully the firmware update will take care of that also. All right, well, thanks for coming, visiting the channel today, watching this little video, and in the comments below, please let me know any other tests or any other thing you want to see me demonstrate from the Hubsan Zino. I know it's not that many people have their hands on it yet, so I know you want the reviewers and testers to test a lot of things for you. I mean, I'm going to plan a scenic flight test in good sunlight. I want to do like a video test, again, a flight test, see how it performs, kind of somewhat of a range test, mostly FPV range test, see how long the the FPV signal holds, or how long it's good quality, and so that's some of the things you can look for in the channel. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.